Jacek is the Vice Rector for International Relations at SGH, Warsaw in Poland, and contributing impactful member of the Global Business School Network. So we're really just pleased to have you here, Jacek, and have a conversation about some of your most recent work.
Thank you very much. I'm pleased to be here.
Could you tell us a little bit about how SGH reacted initially when Putin, I think I want to be specific, the Putin administration invaded Ukraine. Could you tell us a little bit about how that played out initially?
Yes. So, of course, initially, I think many of us were shocked because we didn't expect, because we had assurance from Minister of Foreign Affairs of Russia, and we had assurance from the Russian government that they will not invade Ukraine. But unfortunately, that was not true on February 24th. So our initial reaction was, of course, immediately to condemn this attack, because we believe that all conflicts should be solved in a peaceful way, in negotiations and discussions and really peaceful solutions. Our school was founded in 1906, so we have a long history. During that history, we've been going through various periods of war and really all kinds of troubles that was happening in this part of the world. So, of course, the biggest experience that is still memorized here in our school is how many professors were killed during the Nazi period, during the Second World War. We had underground universities, underground schools for more than 5 years. But at the same time, also, we have to remember the communist part, where after the war, there was a lot of really problems with communists imprisoning people and actually fighting people who were against the system, but fighting, yes, with guns, with military police. I think the values that we adhere here at our universities, and in particular at SGH, is coming from the historical experience. So that experience really translates into our mission as a school, as a university. In the 21st century, we should be able, as human beings, solve problems in a way different from killing people, especially civilians. Immediately, the number of refugees was coming, large numbers. And you have to imagine that many students have families and friends who wanted to join them in Warsaw or in Poland. So we made those Ukrainian refugees were simply accommodated, most of them, in the private families, in private houses, in private apartments. So we didn't have like camps, like you can hear of camps in Turkey or camps for refugees. We don't have camps in Poland. All people are basically spread around various houses, various apartments. Some of them stay with some families. Some of them were put into empty apartments. So you don't see like huge crowds of your refugees in one place, except for maybe the places like railway stations or maybe right at the border. So when they are coming, so of course there is a need to somehow distribute them across the country. We allowed some refugees to stay on our campus. For example, on our gym, we made gym available for people to stay overnight. So we have put some beds, reclining beds there for them to accommodate. But of course, we had some free rooms in the dormitories. So we have put some of those people also in the dormitories, especially families with some kids. So we don't have that much space to accommodate those refugees. So it's definitely less than 100 at one given point in time. So maybe closer to 50. But what happens is often some groups stay for a couple of days and go to other places. So we are kind of transition point for many of those refugees. Also, Toyota company gave us a bus. So we had our driver, our school driver took that bus and was going, and is still going every day to the border, to the Ukrainian border, and brings several people in that bus. So in the bus, it is not a large bus, so it may maybe contain 6 refugees, or not more than 8 refugees at most, to bring them to Warsaw and to help them on our campus. So we do, even every day, we have a trip back and forth. Of course, also bringing some goodies that we collect here in Warsaw to take them there. We have a huge number of volunteers who wanted to go, actually also going to the border to inform the refugees about possibilities, what to do, where to go. Also here in Warsaw, hundreds of students, I would say maybe a couple of hundreds of our students were involved, but not only students, also our faculty people. Many faculty people took the refugees to their houses, and they are staying there in many cases. Even our rector still has one Ukrainian woman and with a couple of children in his house. So huge response. To some extent, I mean, we are always proud of Polish hospitality, but what happened here was unbelievable. Nice. Really, how people responded voluntarily came, took people and were happy to really help them. In Ukraine, there is a huge number of students from other countries, many from Africa, but not only, also from Asia. And of course, those students, many of them were coming here to Warsaw, and we also gave them accommodation. But of course, one big issue is students who are at the last stage of their studies. That's the biggest problem, because if students are in the initial ages, that is not a problem. We can accommodate them in an easier way with less formalities. But people who are about, like, if they tell us that they need to graduate in 2 months, then that requires much more effort to check whether they are really having enough credentials to get the diploma of studies, right? So this is the issue which we still are working on to resolve. Another issue is that actually we are already in the middle of the semester. So it's hard to admit people in the middle of the semester. So our plan is to admit all people who want to study in Poland, rather starting in October, our next semester, fall semester. So we have still some time to really work on the procedures and how to help people to get diplomas faster, since they have already studied for many years. Once the war is ended, then some of those Ukrainian people would like to go back home. But of course, we don't know. It is hard for me to now to predict how many will stay in Poland. Poland is one of like many of the European countries. We are suffering from bad demography, right? So having more children, having more people is benefiting our country. So as long as they like to stay, right, and here grow and then get a job. Of course, maybe there is some structural discrepancy, because of course we have women rather than men. So our construction, for example, business is suffering a little bit these days because many actually builders really went back to Ukraine. So many construction had to stop, and many male type of work, I should say, right? Typical kind of male type of work, which I call it, stopped here. So that could be a problem, structural problem. But I hope after the war, things will change. But then if those husbands want to join their wives here in Poland, all wives will go back to join the husbands in Ukraine. We have teamed up with some kind of public funding organization and to open a special account to collect money to finance and to some of those refugees, to give them some help, or maybe just to buy them basic stuff to really transfer that stuff to them, but also to send to Ukraine. We have also a bunch of products which are being transported across the border, sometimes to the border, and then some Ukrainian organizations or maybe Red Cross or others are taking that stuff to more dangerous places there. So so I think the need for financial help, because maybe it is hard to maybe send goodies from America to Europe, so maybe it is better to send some financing, right? But I see that, for example, President Biden already promised quite a bit of help in billions of dollars to really contribute to that help to Ukrainian refugees. So we are of course grateful for this kind of promise, and we hope that will work. And of course, we privately also collect money. So as faculty members, as just people in Poland, we are contributing to those funds, but also going to stores, buying goodies and giving it to charity to transfer it further. So I think that's the role also of universities. But of course, promoting also values, right? We don't have to forget what we started from, right? Promoting the need for understanding people, for really convincing people that look what happened. We have such big loss of lives, of buildings, of cities. Entire parts of the country are being destroyed. How long it will take to reconstruct it? So even if people want to go back, how much they will suffer to reconstruct that, all that damage. But of course, psychologically, they are in bad shape. So we have huge damage that has happened, and there will be a need to restore it and that need actually will continue for many, many years. So the damage is large. Potentially, as universities, maybe we can have a better message, right? To all people, to all organizations, all politicians, to really keep in mind that we should have peaceful solutions rather than such a big disaster.